Hey friends, welcome to 2 Pixels Off. Mike and I were just doing our stretches before our podcast because you got to get in the game when you're ready to rock it on an episode. He's cracking his neck.
Do you pop your neck? Do you pop your neck? Have you ever popped your neck?
I definitely don't do that. It sounds dangerous.
I definitely don't do that either. I see people, they're like freaking trying to James Bond themselves. Like it seems like they're going to rip their own
I've seen the
off.
movies. I know what happens after you do that.
I know. Yeah. You drop dead. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to 2 Pixels Off, a podcast for creative entrepreneurs.
But today we're not gonna be dropping dead. We're gonna be dropping value bombs, is what we're gonna be doing. Ooh. So, kicking off today's episode, really excited to have you all here. Hey, and for any of you who left those Canadian reviews, I'm assuming there's some extra ones there from the last episode. I'm just gonna say a thank you in advance. Drop some more reviews on the show wherever you listen to it. It really helps us out. It helps get us into new ears, and it helps Mike's ego. It helps him to feel better about any of the problems that he experiences. So it's like
consider
therapy
it
for
a
Mike.
service project, project for my self-esteem. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Exactly what it is. You're doing him a genuine service, his mental health with each star you add. So thank you for doing that. And also thank you to Wix Studio. In fact, check this out. I got a shirt. I'm wearing some swag.
How did you get a shirt, man? I need a shirt.
Special,
you got it at Config. Did you
I got it actually at a Wix Studio tour. I was in the Toronto one and I got to be there. And they were handing out some swag. They got some good swag. I got a good shirt. I got a nice notebook. And I got a backpack. That notebook. Legit good backpack.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So shout out to Wix Studio. Go to any of their events and you'll get some sweet swag. They do not spare. They spare no expense on this in the swag department. Mm-hmm. So special shout out to them. Not only do they make good swag, but they help great podcasts like this one happen. So thanks for listening. Thanks to Wix Studio. And thanks for your reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I think is really important. We're going to go, we did a previous episode about when to avoid certain projects, when to say no. We've talked about that topic before. But what we're going to talk about today is actually some reasons you should be saying yes to new opportunities that aren't just money. There are other reasons you should say yes to a project, and we should dig into those.
Oh yeah. Does that sound like a commercial, like the Sprite commercial or something?
It does.
It does. Yeah. It should be Ooh, that's pretty good.
That was not too bad. I boosted up the bass on my microphone there. Just cheated a bit.
Get out. Dang it. Okay. All right, so how do we kick it off, Brad? I'll talk about the very first one, why you should say yes. And this is the only one that really talks about money, but money is a reason to say yes for a project. And we won't have to beat this horse dead. Yeah, I agree. So we don't have to beat this as a dead horse. Who beats their horse dead, by the way? Where did that phrase? That has to be a Canadian phrase. It's like beating a dead horse. Do horses die and then you like beat on the dead horse in Canada? Is that what you do? Because that's a phrase, man, that I did not make up.
You know what?
PETA is coming after me, though, for even saying such a thing.
You know what? PETA, you stay where you are over there in the US of A, beating dead horses over there. Because I think it says here, it came from the mid-19th century when the practice of beating horses made them go faster. Well,
okay. So you can't beat a dead horse means you can't make a dead horse go any faster. It's like it's going as fast as it goes. Yep. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we're going to beat that horse dead. We've talked about profitability and touched on this in a variety of ways. But yes, the number one reason you should take a project is for profitability. So look at that. It's a no duh. But it is only one of, what do we have, like 7 or 8 different reasons that you can take a project, and profits is only one of them. But a lot of times creative entrepreneurs are thinking, if it's not profitable, I shouldn't take it. And I've probably even said such stuff in books and content that I've done. Yes, it should be profitable. That is the number one reason, but it's not the only reason. What do you have to add to profit horse that we're beating?
The poor profit horse. Let's just, how about we brush the profit horse and we groom it and we clean it And what if we just take care of our profit horse? Because it's kind of the number one.
Okay. I like that phrase. It's more animal friendly. Definitely.
Yeah. And a horse. And to quote a movie I don't remember, do you ever really own a horse? It's just like, it's a majestic creature of God. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If it's gracing you with its presence, you're just a steward of that spirit, is the way I see it, I think.
That's fancy. That sounds like it was a horse movie like Secretariat or Seabiscuit or something.
Honestly,
something
it probably was. It's probably something like something magical like that. So this profit horse, we would take care of it because you know what? That's what pays the bills. It brings home the bacon. It's what makes all of the rest work. Profit, money, it makes the business world go around. You know the language of business is numbers. The key word in that language is money. You can't make good feelings make the business go around. Portfolio pieces don't make the business world go around. None of the other items make it go around. The kind of the linchpin is money. So that's why it's number one. But there's other ones too. So yes, make the money, price properly, make good profits so that you can reinvest in your projects and reinvest in your business, reinvest in your client experience. Heck, you're running a business, so all the risks kind of on your back. So you need that savings. You need that retirement income. You need that investment. You need to do that. You don't have like a pension. At least it doesn't work like that here in Canada. If you're self-employed, you got to figure that out all by yourself. So I like to say you should try to make a lot of money, not because you're Scrooge McDuck, but because when you need to pay bills or you're getting older and you want to not work, you better damn well have some money in that bank account.
Yeah. Cuckoo. That's the advice. Hey, in the U.S. too, it's not just Canada, but in the United States, honestly, by the time any of us are collecting Social Security in the United States, it's all going to be bankrupt anyway. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of the world is the United States Social Security system. That the people who are paying today are paying their money in for the people who are retired today. And at some point, when is the money going to run out? I don't know. We keep spending it like there's a unlimited amount down here. So, yeah, but this is not a politics. This is not politics.
No. Number one is profit, not politics.
Yes, this is not a politics podcast. But the number two is a P also. It is
2 Ps.
Portfolio. You might take a project because it will make a great portfolio piece for you. You can make an amazing case study. And yes, maybe it's not the greatest money that you can ever make, but if it breaks even or ekes out maybe even a small loss, you might still take it on because the portfolio piece will be an amazing marketing tool for you. That's another reason to take a project.
Yep, it has value. So yeah, putting the money aside, the profit aside now, the portfolio piece, it looks good. It's a marketing asset. It's something that you get to promote. It's something that gives you clout. It's something that tips the scales for future projects and future clients. If you worked with a brand or a company or you created something that's particularly wow, then those potential clients or maybe bigger league clients might look and go, what? So you worked with them on that project, or you did some work for that brand, or I saw that work in your portfolio and that's incredible. Like that, what's going on here? So it has value. It might not be, it added an extra $15,000 to your bank account. It might be, it's what's going to land the next 3 big clients and give you a leg up, or be that key that brings you to that next stage of your business. So it has serious pull, being able to say yes to a project because it's going to be a good portfolio piece.
I think the way that I look at that is that you're investing the profit that you would have if it was priced properly. You would have profit. But you're investing the profit into creating a portfolio piece or a case study that you will use to generate more revenue and profit in the future. So that's the way I look at it. Yes, maybe this project should be $5,000, but you're going to do it for $3,000 because that's all the budget they have. You're going to do it. And that $2,000 difference is your $2,000 investment into future marketing with this material that you're creating with your $2,000 of sacrificed profit on the project. And I think it's totally fine to do it.
Yep.
You can do that.
Absolutely.
Yep. I agree.
I think that's great. It's great. It's like you basically just force yourself to pay into your marketing is what it is. You say, this is a great piece, then milk it. If it's like a real showcase piece, milk that as a key marketing asset.
It like a cow. Milk that like a cow.
Yep.
Where does milk it come from? We're going to milk that. It is like a cow. I think we're getting into animal rights activists are going to be coming trying to shut down this.
I was
should
just
be milking
thinking,
cows.
I think we were just embracing our inner
creatures,
cowboy.
Brad.
That's all it is. We're just embracing inner cowboys is what it is.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
What do you call
next?
cowboys up there? What do you call cowboys up there?
What do we call cowboys? It's like we have a different language.
Yeah, you do. What do you call them?
I'm going to say
cowfolk.
boss.
Cowfolk. I'm
boss.
going to say
If you see a
cowfolk.
real cowboy, you tip your hat to that man.
Yeah.
Or woman. You see a cowboy or cowgirl and they're legit and they're, there's the saying, all hat, no cattle. Because we've got that up this way because there's a big city nearby where we have like the Calgary Stampede, but it's a lot of showy cowboys, but no one owns a ranch or cattle. They call it all hat, no cattle. But when you see a real cowboy or a real cowgirl, you got to give them their respect. You let them
clear.
go.
Yeah.
You say,
it's
you know
clear
what, man?
that they're real.
You go ahead. You take my spot. That's what it is.
It is. It's
So
good.
what's next?
You're so respectful in Canada. Next thing on this list, I feel like I'm the one kicking off all the things. So you give the next one, Brad, so that I'm not starting each one. So what is another thing that is a valid reason to take on a project?
Okay.
That is not money.
Not money. Your network. Who you're working with. And what does that open up? Because with every person, you basically take the network effect that comes with that person and you install it into your network. And it immediately adds to that. It's almost like if you're playing a video game. And I don't know if this is going to be a great metaphor. You can rate me on it afterwards.
Okay, I'm going to rate you. So far, you're at a 1. Go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
You're looking at your map on like your video game and you don't get to see much. You call it the fog of war. You can't see other than your immediate area. You don't know where to go. But as soon as you unlock another level or an area, more of that map opens up and that fog of war kind of lifts. So with each new network you add to yours, more of that map reveals itself and you've got more options to know where to go. You've got more opportunities and that gives you leverage. When you can see where you're going and you can anticipate which part of the map to navigate to, you've got leverage and leverage creates opportunities. So with your network, when you say yes to a project, not because of money, but because of network, like when Mike was like, I really want Brad on the podcast because it's going to unlock a lot for me.
Okay. I like it. Keep going.
You see? It really,
it.
The advantage was in Mike's favor here. It unlocked a lot of his network because he tacked mine onto it.
It did. It was so beneficial. It was so, I said, I'm not doing this podcast without Brad. And I beat my fist on the table and that's how that went.
That's how it went.
It is how it went. Okay. What do you say about the people, Brad? Everybody's had this client. They come in and they're like, I want to do it for $1,000. I need to do this for $800, but I know a lot of people. I'm speaking like a Canadian right now. I know a lot of people and good things are going to come for you because of this, because you're doing this work for me and I got a lot of relationships. What do you think about that approach? Because I've heard that from freaking clients and honestly, I want to run them out of the conference room like a cowgirl runs the cattle. See? Do you see what I did there?
You tied it
like
in.
a cowgirl. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I'm gonna give that a 2.
I know, but it was a try. I tried.
But you tried. You attempted. Yeah. Also, Did you guys have like Canadian school at all? Like a Canadian class in the US of A down there?
No, we draw a line. We draw a line above the United States, and that's where the world stops. We don't pay attention to what's happening up there. We just think that the world ends right there, and everything above Minnesota is the Arctic Circle. That's what we think. But
Santa Claus.
I don't know. Yeah, Santa Claus and elves and whatnot live up there. There's moose and a few random people that live, and they wear red coats and those brown hats. The
Mounties, the RCMP.
Yeah, that's the one.
The feds.
There's a few of them wandering. They're wandering around. So that's yeah. Why do you ask that? Because you have USA school in Canada.
We know a lot about the US
class. Yeah,
definitely. Oh yeah, we learned all the states, all the capitals of all the states. Oh man,
that's silly.
I don't know why. Probably just whatever. There's probably some reason, but it's just basically like know your surroundings. You know, I know we're all allies here.
Know your enemy. We're faking like we're allies. We're getting into political stuff, but we're faking like we're allies.
Yeah,
allies because we want the Major League Baseball viewers in Canada. That's what, and we got an NBA team up there. So we're trying to just suck in some ad revenue from Canada, but that's really the only thing that we're interested in. And I guess your side of the Niagara Falls, maybe. I think that
the better side, you mean?
That maybe what it is. I don't know. You look across the Niagara Falls and there's like log cabins over there and stuff. And everybody in the US is like, that's Canada up there. And I'm like, okay.
This is so great. Yeah. We just need like an honorary like Canada US episode and we just riff on each other. It's hard.
I'm in on that.
Me too. Challenge accepted.
All right.
I love it. I don't know where we were going with that though.
It was the network. What do you say to the people who are who say I got a lot of relationships? What do you say? This is gonna get you a lot of referrals and get you a lot from this because I know a lot of people.
How do you say it in Canadian? You say, "Take off, hoser." Take off.
That's really good. Yeah.
So basically, what that means is no thanks. There's the door. And you can say that in so many ways. When people say that, all they're trying to do is like shirk the responsibility of paying for valuable services. And they think that they can kind of trick you into like, it's almost like they're bluffing, you know, they're kind of saying, oh, my network is super valuable. If your network is actually so valuable, you probably have the money to just pay for the services and you're not there to like puff up your chest about your network. If you have to say your network is so great, it's probably not so great. And you probably have no money. So why are we doing this?
That's really good. I like the approach of, oh, that's great. I'm glad you have a lot of
good for you.
People you know. I'm glad you have that. We would be happy to pay you for leads that come after we do the project. So here's our price for the project, but we'd be happy to pay for leads if you send clients to us. And then that would bring your project price down. So let's say that we pay you $100 per lead that we close, and we do this project for $2,000, but you give us 5 leads, then you can consider it actually that you got this project for $1,500, which is the price that you're trying to get right now.
What a boss move that is. It basically calls their bluff.
Yeah. But so say, okay, you got so much, then give it and we'll pay you.
And it respects them and honors that, hey, maybe they got a big network or maybe they don't and they're just trying to bluff. But you don't like make fun of them. You're not being disrespectful. You're like, that's awesome. I think that what a wonderful opportunity this is for the both of us. Here's how I think we should do this. And then you say, it's $5,000 for our project, you know, and you know, that's our standard price. And you're going to get XYZ for your Canadian listeners here. And
there's one person up there listening.
I know.
Yeah.
He's Tom.
Your wife is listening.
Laura. Yeah, she's listening. She's leaving all the reviews on the Canada channel.
Exactly.
Brad's so handsome. You honor them and you say, you know what? Yeah, that sounds great. Here's how it's going to work. The project's $5,000 and we'll give you $250 for every client you send us our way. It sounds like you get a big network. So that's only like however many people. and it'll recoup your costs, or it cuts it in half. I think this is like a win-win. Does that sound reasonable to you? And then they're on the
You're bringing that back
right?
from the other episode. Does that sound reasonable? Tying it in.
What are they going to say? What are they going to say, Mike? They're going to be like, crap, I don't have a good network.
Exactly. That's what they're going to say. So call them out on it. So you can do it in that kind of professional way. Call them out on it and let them prove it. Prove it then. We'll pay you for
your network
leads.
to me, Mike.
Yeah. All right. Next one. So network was that one. The next one is award potential. Award potential. And let me give you a little story on this one. We did a project. This was one of the only big project cold leads that we got. We got found by Pepsi because of our website, because we had a ton of kids projects on our website. We were doing work for Disney and Warner Brothers and stuff, and Nickelodeon. We had clients and doing tons of work in that industry. And Pepsi found us through Google search, and they reached out to us and wanted us to create this virtual world for one of their brands, which is Tropicana, the juice brand. And they were creating this juice pouch, slushy kind of applesaucey stuff inside of a pouch. They had 3 flavors: grape, cherry, and apple. And those were the 3 flavors of the 3 worlds that we were going to create. And they had online games and blah, blah, blah. Now, we landed that project at the budget. They told us their budget. We crafted a proposal back to them that maximized the budget. And I went to my team, and I think that I said, and if I didn't say it to them, I said it to myself for sure, I do not care if there is any profit in this project. This project is our FWA award. It's our Webby award. This is the project we've been waiting for to win the mega awards that we were coveting. And it was. So I didn't care at all about profit. We took that project on, and it was no holds barred. Invest whatever time has to be invested and make this thing the sickest it can possibly be. And that's what we did. And we did win the awards. So award potential has so much value, because now I can boast the awards that we won from that one project. So I knew it. I knew it when it finally came that was the one, and I didn't care about the profit. So award potential, I think, is one that is a valid reason to say yes to a project.
I like that. I think that's really a neat strategy. And I think especially for agencies, when you've got those resources, those people where you could say all hands on deck, and all of your skills and talents all on this project. Just like pull out all the stops. And there are those projects, when I worked at an agency, so this is kind of going back a while now, but it was a proper agency and they did really cool work. And there were projects like that where you worked on a game or a movie or a TV show or like an airline brand or like a lifestyle brand, like a beverage company, or an alcohol company or whatever it was. And there would be some of those projects where it was like, this one, do all of your magic on it. I know that you've got some design skills, or you got some dev skills, or you got animation skills. Is anybody here who've got let's do it and go hard, because we're going to submit this to all the awards, and we want to win, sight of the day or sight of the month or sight of the year or whatever it is. We want to win that, because what that gives you is that clout. You get to say award-winning agency, and then you can prove it and say this one with this site or this project. And you go, wow, that's impressive. It comes with, and once you got that notch in your belt, well, now you got it. And that has, that pays dividends. It's what tips the people over the scale. Why would I hire you over this agency? You go, well, they're not award winning.
They didn't win a Webby. They didn't win a Webby. We got a Webby. It matters to some clients, and they go after that. Some of my A-list clients that we were working with, the Disney's, Warner Brothers and stuff, and especially somebody that I know at Fox, it was like they were just working with whoever freaking was Ad Age Agency of the Year. That was who was getting the multi-million-dollar contracts. So that award inside of Ad Age was so admired by my contact at Fox that it was like every year the new agency would win that. And it seemed like they were working with them within a few months. And we were doing a lot of smaller projects for them, smaller meaning like 50, 60, 70 grand projects, not the $2 million engagement. So it matters to some of the clients out there that know about those award programs. It won't matter to the barber shop that you're trying to land on mainstream. It's not going to matter to them. They don't know the difference, but it matters to you sometimes too. Man, the self-esteem boost from winning the award that you've coveted for so long, that's a pretty nice little self-esteem boost too. So it's just a valid reason to take on a project other than just the financial return on it.
Love it.
All right, what's the next one, Bradley Aurelius? Was that the
You
last?
changed my
that was the
Latin
last
name
episode.
on me.
Yeah, Bradley Aurelius Hussey. Bah.
I'm going to say the next one is, if you got a little bit of a philanthropic, philanthropy, that's it. If you a little bit of that in your system and you want to do a bit of good, you want to help out the world, you want to help out humanity, you got a cause that you've got a soft spot for, maybe it's a nonprofit that, you got a soft spot for this group, or, this, specific charity that, you have a soft spot for, or you value, or you donate money to, or whatever just aligns with your values. Then you can go, you know what? I'm going to do this pro bono because it feels good and it is right. And, with the gifts that you've got, maybe it's with your skills, your talents, or even your money, you can say, you know what? We're going to allocate some of this to do philanthropy style work, where we pull out all the stops for maybe one nonprofit a year, or every quarter you do a project for a nonprofit. And who knows how you choose it? Maybe they apply, or maybe you just pick someone off you just really like their work, and you just say, we're going to do this noble thing and take on this project and elevate you because you're doing great work and it really matters to us. And here's how we can help you. Sure, we can donate money, and we do, but this is what's going to make your nonprofit even more appealing to all of your donors. And that's going to help you in an even bigger way than us just donating our monthly amount.
All right. I'm going to give you two juicy nuggets on this one. And I think you're going to like them both. And I think you're going to score me a 10 for each of them. Okay. The first one is I handled nonprofits, not all of them, but a lot of nonprofits. I handled it for nonprofit. And in my book, Burn Your Portfolio, I call it nonprofit for nonprofits. And what I mean by that is, let's say that your cost is $70 an hour to run your business, but your billable rate is $115 an hour. You go to your client, a nonprofit, who's saying, can you help us out? And you say, yes, we'd be happy to help you out. The way that we handle it is we do nonprofit projects at a nonprofit rate. So our rate is $70 an hour. You'll pay that instead of our normal billable rate, which is $115 an hour. And then you're giving them the discount, but they're still covering the cost of you having to produce the thing. And it works super well. I had a couple of clients that were on a program like that at my agency, and I was happy to help their business, but I knew that I wasn't making my own financial donation into their business. I was just making a profit donation, or the opportunity cost donation into their business. That worked out pretty well. How do you score me on that, Brad Hussey?
That's a 10 for sure, because
It
I
was
didn't
a
think
10?
of that.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
that's a good tactic, because you're like, look, costs me money to run the shop. I got staff, I got benefits, I got insurance, I got the lease agreement, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, for me to do a project like this, it costs me like $10,000 out of pocket. And so instead of charging you $21,000 like I would everybody else, I'm going to charge you $10,000. And that's just me making sure my staff are paid for and the building's paid for and my servers are paid for. That's it. And we'll do the work for you. No one else gets that rate.
Yep. at cost. So it's a good one. Okay, nonprofit for nonprofits. My other one is I used to get hit up by everybody in my neighborhood to sponsor their freaking baseball team, their basketball team, their volleyball team, their football team, or whatever. Like any of these kind of teenage kids in the neighborhood knew I owned a business, or their parents did, and they would send them over to my house when they had to go and sell sponsorship for their thing. Get your logo on their shirt or in their little program or whatever. So they come and sell that thing. I would do one of those per year. So I was always happy to make that contribution. And a lot of them were like, $200, $250, $300, $500 donations, but I would do one per year. And then I would tell the people every year that came after the one that hit me up first, I would tell them, oh, sorry, yeah, I do one of those per year, and we already sponsored the lacrosse team this year. They came to me back in March. Or I do one of those per year. We sponsored the baseball team. They came to me back in May for their sponsorship. But next year, when you're doing the same thing again, make sure you come to me in the early months of the year for that sponsorship request, because I do one per year. And I think that was a really good way that got me off the hook of feeling guilty about not sponsoring everybody's freaking thing. You don't get any return on investment on that stuff, honestly. For a creative business, throwing your logo on the back wall of the high school baseball stadium is not going to get you any work that is of any value to you, for the most part. There's always anomalies, but for the most part, nothing's going to come of that. So your $500 donation isn't going to be used for anything other than a philanthropic donation to support the local community in some way. So do it, but do one per year. Set a limit. A limited
budget.
number.
Yeah, budget. Yeah. Budget it in.
Oh, it could be
cool.
that too.
Like
it could be like, hey, we do $500 per year. We sponsor the lacrosse team for $250. I can do a $250 sponsorship for you. Yeah. So maybe it's a financial number that you decide on.
I like that. That's a 10 as well. Doing good by the community.
Dang, dude. Maybe we should end this episode before I blow it with the next ones.
The next one. Speaking of the next one, let's jump into the next one, right?
What is the next one, Brad?
It's if by saying yes to a project, it opens up new doors to a new industry that you'd like to get into. If it breaks you into into an industry that you would like the keys to, you would like that door opened.
I love that. I think it's a valid reason outside of money to take on a project. It gives you that case study that's a real paying project inside an industry that you want to work in. Yeah. Do it all day long. If it gives you that marketing material. A lot of these, when you look at it, kind of tie back to marketing materials. It's an investment that you're making, sacrificing profit to say yes to something, to buy yourself a new marketing vehicle for your business of a case study or portfolio piece, whatever.
Exactly. Everything costs something. Nothing is free. And so either you're paying for your ads to break into a market. Let's say you want to get into, we talked about this a few episodes back, like the barbecue restaurant industry. So I'm obsessed with barbecue and barbecue food trucks and barbecue joints. So to break into that market, you either have to pay for it, pay to play. So you're buying ads to get in front of those people. You're putting in like blood, sweat, and tears, like going around to barbecue joints and having the meat sweats so that you can network with the owners of the barbecue joints. Or maybe another one is you take on a project that's maybe less profitable or not profitable because you know it's your key into that industry. And then now you get access to that person's network. They know all the barbecue owners in Texas, or wherever the barbecue joints are in that kind of area. So now you're unlocking a network. You're opening up doors to a new industry that you'd like to get into. You're getting access to the problems and the language that they use to communicate in their little inner circle. And it opens up opportunities. So you're almost, instead of paying $5,000 a month in ads targeting the barbecue people who are interested in barbecue and also are entrepreneurs, you're just like, I did a project and I got paid, not a lot, but now I got an in, and that's what I need.
So good. Industry access. It's such a good one. And that goes back to portfolio too. I mean, it is like I said, you're getting that case study that unlocks, getting case study and network. I mean, those are two of the things that we've talked about, a portfolio and network, two reasons. But if it's specific to an industry, it's that industry access that you're going to unlock as well. So good, so valuable. All right, the next one. Did I ever tell the beefalo story on this podcast? Have you heard my beefalo story?
No.
Dude, 2008, the economy tanks. Everybody felt it. The Great Recession. And then in 2009, I was in a, like, do whatever we have to do to keep the lights on. I had already had to do some layoffs. It was a rough patch in my business. It was a rough patch in a lot of people's businesses. And one of the things we started doing was like these super cookie cutter template websites. And we had this company come to us. They were like the some beefalo ranch, and they raised beefalo with it, which is a buffalo mixed with a cow. And it was beefalo. And you can get beefalo hamburgers and stuff at certain restaurants and things. Anyway, so they came to us and we were like, okay, well, let's make this little cookie cutter website. It's like $1,500 and we can do a logo for you for $800 or something like that. So it was a super cheap. Before the Great Recession, that project would have been $18,000 with our agency. But I was like, we got to figure out any way to bring in some cash so that I'm not hemorrhaging money out of my own bank account to keep the rest of the team employed. So we pitched to them, or they pitched to us, why don't we give you some beefalo in addition? So I know you're doing this at a discount. We'll pay that money, but then we'll also give you a freezer full of beefalo. That was what they had pitched. And I was like, okay, all right. And we never got the freaking beefalo. But it was a trade of goods. I know I'm still pissed about it because I like to eat meat. So I'm still pissed about it. But it was a trade of goods. And it's a valid reason to take on a project. If the thing that they are trying to offer as a trade is of value to you, if it's actually something you want, then you can do it as a trade of goods or services. Feel free to do that. It's a valid reason to take on a project other than money, a trade of goods and services.
Absolutely.
Have you ever done anything on trade?
Yep, I have. One of my first projects, it was actually I think my third project when I got started. I basically offered to do it for, I think it was a price, and it was a barbershop supply goods shop. They wanted like an e-commerce store. And it was very simple. Like I just like put up like PayPal links on like individual products. It wasn't as, as good as what you would do with say Wix Studio now with like this beautiful e-commerce shop, and it's all integrated with your point of sale system. It was very simple. So the price reflected that, but they didn't have a lot of budget. And I was like, all right, well, what if we do this price and you send me those clippers, like for trimming your hair or your beard. And they were like high quality, high end, like clippers that a barber shop would own. And they were expensive. Yeah. I'd never buy them at a store because it was to me astronomical for clippers. But I was like, that to me makes up the extra. And I get these baller clippers, which I still have. And they're sharp and they're great. Yeah. And anytime I need to really trim up the face, or if I wanted to shave my head, I got those clippers.
You're gonna say shave your back. Can you shave your back with them? Or they're probably not powerful enough to get through your back hair. It never stops. It never stops.
And for the record, if I did have a ton of back hair, those clippers would definitely rip through that. No props.
Oh man,
I'm talking high quality clippers.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
that is quality. That is high quality.
It is high quality. The other thing that it unsuccessfully, I offered a trade. Speaking of barbecue, there's a gentleman in my the province here in Alberta, and he makes barbecue pits, offset smokers out of propane tanks, and they're so good. They're like works of art. And he's like up and coming, and he's starting to get a little more popular. People down in the States are ordering them for like their barbecue competitions and stuff. So he's getting a bit more popular, and I'm happy for his growing success. But I was like, I want one of those barbecue pits. And then they're like $2,000 or $3,000, which is a good price for a handmade barbecue pit. But I was like, I have an idea. I love your stuff. You know, I followed him for a bit and I was like, man, this is so good. We're close by. How about let me build you a new site, because they don't have a site. It's just like this crappy something. And it's like, I'll build it out e-commerce. You can buy your products 24/7. We'll build it on Studio. It's going to be amazing. Normally I'd charge X amount for that. Your barbecue pits are like $2,500 for the one I want. What do you say? You just send me one of those barbecue pits and I'll build this out for you. And I thought it was a great deal. He didn't, unfortunately, take me up on the deal. I think he basically said, I think that's an awesome idea. Let me talk to my wife. And I think the wife did their web stuff. And it kind of felt like I was maybe stepping on toes a bit. And she was like, nah. So unfortunately, I didn't get the brand new barbecue pit. But I'm still hoping maybe one day he changes his mind.
This story turned out sad to me. Because I was like waiting for the big payoff that you did it and you got this great thing. Sad. I did a few things. I did a few things over the years of trade for like a sponsorship on something, for an ad on something. I had some tradey stuff like that. But it was rare. Usually my approach to trade of goods and services was, oh yeah, we're happy to do trade. I'll trade you your money for my services. That's what I'll trade. And then if I decide to spend your money after you give it to me on your stuff, then that'll be my decision. But I don't want your volleyball nets. I don't want that. I don't need like 17 volleyball nets, man. My team, they don't want to play volleyball. I don't need that.
Day. We don't need a volleyball team in the Olympics. Yeah, no, that's true. It's like tradesies. It's something that is there. And I think it's usually good for beginners, because you don't have a lot of leverage and it's hard to ask for big money. Because the reality is I could just do a project. And if I wanted to buy a $2,500 barbecue pit, I would just do that. But there's something about, I like it and I want it. Yeah. And I want you to just send it to me and I'll just build you something because I like your stuff. Maybe that's a good segue into the final item, actually.
Ooh. Okay.
Which is,
what is it? Are you going to unveil it?
I'll unveil it. Final reason why you'd take on a project other than money would be just because you want to. I just want to do it. I just like it. It's totally up to you.
It's your freaking business. It's your business. If you want to say yes, then do it. If you want to give your time to create whatever, then just freaking do it.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody's permission except for Brad's wife. Get Brad's wife's permission and then you can do it. You can do it.
Yep. Yeah. If you just want to say yes, if you want to reach out and do a barbecue pit website, or they reach out and they just say, hey, we'll send you a barbecue pit, but I don't have money. And if you want to do it, you could do it. It's like, it's totally up to you.
You could just do it for free if you want. You could be like, you know what? I'm feeling good. I like my cousin's business. I want to help him out. I'll do it for free. Or you can charge them. You can do, it's your business. I think that's the heart of that thing. Just because you want to, that is a valid enough reason to say yes to a project. If you want to do it, then do it.
Yep. It doesn't have to have like an ulterior motive, an underlying strategy, the profit margins. You know what? If you're just like, I like that, sounds nice, I've got some time, I'm feeling nice, and I'm just going to surprise somebody. Maybe you do a little project and maybe it's I don't know, this is a fun little idea. Maybe you're doing well this year. It's the final quarter of the year. Project comes through. It's a small project, maybe relative to your business, and you agreed on a budget of something like $5,000, something that for your business, maybe it's not the biggest deal and you could do without it. Be nice, but it doesn't matter. Maybe when it comes to the final bill time, and maybe they paid 10% into the project, you could just say, the bill's settled. It's, we took care of it, or whatever you want to say, and just say, no, it's done. It's all good. The final bill is $0. That's going to be our Christmas gift for you this year. Maybe it's just that.
All right. Shout out to Staples, the office supply store, because this was a month. It was about a month ago now. My nephew passed away. He was 19. It was tragic. It was an ATV accident, and we flew out to my family in Indiana. and spent time there and helped coordinate kind of the last little stuff. And one of the things was the program for a little invite that my brother was having a get together for all of his close friends to come and hang out after the funeral was over in that later afternoon. And I took the little flyer and I told my niece, who designed it and got all the details, I told her, hey, I'll get this thing printed and bring it to the funeral, and then my brother can give it to the people that he wants to give to invite to the thing. Anyway, I went to Staples and dropped it off got it on my phone and emailed it into them and told them I needed the 100 of them, whatever, printed. And then I came back. She quoted me the number. It was going to be like $46 or something. And I left, came back in a half an hour to pick them up. And I said, okay, well, do I pay right here? And she said, nope, it's taken care of. And I was like, what? She said, it's taken care of. And I was like, how is it taken care of? And she said, I have a coupon. And so it was free. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a great policy. If that's a Staples-wide policy that things for funerals are gifted to the people, what a great, great philanthropic thing that they did. And it boosted my perception of that entire business. So wow. I think that was such a great little thing. So it was just because there was no ulterior motive. They weren't trying to get me to give them referrals or anything. They weren't looking for a shout out on a podcast. But look, Staples just got a shout out on a podcast for doing something like that, which I think is such a great little business model. And it was a just because kind of a thing. To me, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
So
well, and it increases your perception, the value. Even that, like to me, it affects me where I go, oh, there's a Staples here. Yeah. There's times where I'll go to Best Buy instead of Staples. You're like, you know what? That's cool. I think that's really nice. And it increases the perception of value. And even if it was just that employee's individual decision to do that, even more so, like the fact that they have employees like that who like make nice decisions, that's really cool. Yeah. And that's a great thing that you can incorporate. You can say, you know what? Budget for gifts, budget for philanthropy, charity work, and make some of it a surprise where you take no credit. Yeah. And you just do a good thing and surprise them, delight them, and don't ask for anything in return. Don't ask for a referral or like tell your friends we give away gifts sometimes. Like don't let your right hand see what your left hand's doing, sort of thing. So I think that's a good note to end on. And actually, so today the episode really was just all about other reasons you would say yes to a project than money. You know, profit is first, obviously. Pay yourself first. Make sure you're running a profitable business. But there are other reasons to say yes. We outlined them today. And I think that they're all very valid reasons that you should explore in your next projects. And I want to thank everybody for listening. We really appreciate your listenership or viewership if you're watching this on YouTube podcasts, I think YouTube music, or if we're watching this, I don't know if we have the video version on Spotify or not, but the video version.
We don't. Does Spotify do a video version?
I think so. You should check it out. You should try and figure it out.
I got to check that in. I can check into that.
Yeah. But anyway, if you're watching it, listening to it, thank you for doing that. Leave us your reviews. It's always appreciated. It helps the algorithms and it helps our pride. And also, thank you to our friends at Wix Studio. Really appreciate their bringing us together and making this podcast possible. It's a ton of fun. It's like a highlight of my week, getting to record a couple sessions and to bring Wix Studio in on the party. Check them out. It's wixstudio.com and go ahead and just try it out. Sign up. That's a big thing that I always say. When someone's like, oh, I've used Wix before, you're like, but have you used Wix Studio before? It's different. Like if you're just building a little barbershop site for your own barbershop, I get it. But if you're like an agency, a freelancer, building enterprise sites, building big client projects, and you need business solutions, you need e-com, you need a dynamic site with a content management system, you need responsive capabilities, you want AI in a tasteful way, it's all baked into it, and it's super intuitive, super easy to use. Plus a great team to boot. They're really good at helping you out if you got problems, if you got any questions, and if you got feature requests, they take it all into account. They're very good about it. So make sure to check them out. Big shout out to Wix Studio. And I think that's all I got. Thanks for listening. We'll
That's
catch
good.
you in the next episode. 2 pixels.
All right. See you, everybody.
Off.